welcome to another episode of Practical IT. In this episode, we're going to take a look at Zorin OS 15, which has just been released in the past week or so. Let's get started. Alright, I have set this up with the standard 4 gigs of RAM, 128 megs of video display, and bridged networking. Let's kick off the installer, and we'll see what they've done different this time. That's better. Okay, try or install Zorin OS, and we will go ahead and let that option roll. Nice animated splash screen to start things off. And we'll see how long this takes to get to our actual installer. Very nice. We are going to go ahead and install Zorin OS. Continue. Obviously, this is based on an Ubuntu release. The installer is pretty much the same as an Ubuntu installer. Alright, erase disk and install Zorin OS. Continue. And I'm actually in the Chicago area, so we will use the Central Time Zone. Normally I'm in Eastern Time Zone, but at least we know that this is accurately picking up the time. Alright. So now we're copying files, and in a moment here I will pause the video and we will resume when the installer is close to being complete and ready for us to restart into our fresh install. Alright, we've reached the end of our install. We're going to go ahead and restart the computer. And start checking out our new Zorin OS 15 install. Alright, let's get logged in. Okay, we've got our desktop here, started up relatively quickly. We're going to go ahead and see if we can change our screen resolution to have this something a little bit more realistic here. Open our settings. Appearance. Okay, so that's for your background. Do devices, resolution. And we are going to do, let's try 1440 by 900, apply, keep changes. We'll take this out of scaled mode. Alright, maybe we'll put this back into scaled mode. Okay, so let's go back to our main settings area, and alright, we've already got updates ready to be installed. We'll go ahead and install that, since I've got the luxury today of recording from a very fast internet connection compared to what I have in my normal recording area. So down on our taskbar we've got Firefox, our file manager, the software center, and of course the updates that are running. I'll stick that over in the corner for the time being. We'll take a look at the selection of other software that comes installed. Accessories has your calculator, clocks, files, maps, text editor, to-do list, and weather. Games Solitaire, Mahjong, Minesweeper, a Tetris clone, and Sudoku. Graphics, we've got Document Viewer for PDFs, GIMP, LibreOffice Draw, Shotwell for video editing, and Simple Scan. Internet is kind of bare. Firefox and Ramina, which is a remote desktop client. So you can connect to your Windows desktops if you'd like. Or, as we've seen in a previous video, a Linux desktop running XRDP. Office has calendar, contacts, document viewers once again showing up, Evolution email, and the rest of the LibreOffice suite of applications. Sound and video, Bracero for burning CDs and DVDs. Cheese is a webcam picture taking software. PTV is another video editor. You've got Rhythmbox for playing audio files and videos for playing video files. System Tools is going to have your same basic things. The standout item in this selection is Zorin Appearance. This has been a staple of Zorin OS basically since the beginning. You've got the option to show icons on the desktop, and in our case all we're going to show is mounted volumes, because like many people these days, I like to keep a clutter-free desktop as much as possible. You can choose different layouts depending on what your preference is. I'm going to leave it in the standard layout. Plenty of options for colors and other theme items, fonts, and your panel. You can decide the height and location either on the top or bottom of the screen, whether it will auto hide, and options for the clock and calendar for date, seconds, and week numbers. And then the taskbar position. See what that looks like centered. And that centers your icons on the taskbar. Group applications, lock your taskbar, and whether your left super key, aka the Windows key, or generally Command on a Mac, whether it will show the Zorin menu or the activities overview. So nicely done there on these options. Let's go back into our menu, and finally we've got utilities, which has things like Archive Manager, your backup utility, Disk Usage Analyzer, which is a handy tool, disks, fonts, help, and your image viewer, and a few other things, logs, passwords and keys, screenshot utility, system monitor, and the terminal. Speaking of terminal, let's go ahead and launch that. Make the text a little bit larger for everybody to see, and clear our screen. So we're going to run, first we're going to install Lynis, and then we're going to run a security check on the system and see where our basic install has got us. So sudo apt install Lynis, and there's one of my pet peeves that has carried over. The last time I've seen this is Elementary OS, I believe, or possibly Linux Mint. I believe it was Linux Mint. I saw this. They actually put up asterisks for your password when you type it in the terminal. This can be turned off. I wish it was an opt-in rather than an opt-out type of default, but we'll make it work. We're going to go ahead and scan our system. And we'll let this run. The version of Lynis is a little bit behind the curve. This is using version 2.6.2 and the latest is 2.7.4. And it does report right at the beginning that this is more than 4 months old. And of course they would like you to use the current version, which only makes sense when you're talking about security software. And we'll give this another minute or two and it should finish up here. Okay, we're at the end of the Lynis run. So let's see what our hardening index is by default out of the box here. And that looks like a 58. I will say that their terminal defaults make this a little tough to read. See if we can change our color scheme here. That's not much better. Okay, so hardening index of 58 out of the box. Test performed 213 with one plugin enabled. And if we scroll up, it is going to give you a whole list of things, as we've seen before looking at Lynis. It's going to give us a whole list of things that we can change to update our security index or the results of our scan. And the big thing here is there are 4 pretty big warnings, starting with the old version of Lynis. No password set for single mode, couldn't find 2 responsive name servers, IP tables is loaded, but no rules are active. Those 4 things are relatively trivial to work through, but there are other things in here that can be done as well, such as installing fail-to-ban. So if people try to connect to your machine and don't have credentials, you can have it automatically banned on a system level. Minimum and maximum password age. Again, low-hanging fruit that you can easily fix. DNS configuration, your resolve file for a backup name server, all things that are not difficult to do, but on a desktop version of Linux, many times you'll find that they're not done for you out of the box. Always keep in mind that security on any system, whether Windows, Linux, or Mac OS, or anything else for that matter, it's all a balancing act between high security and usability for the person having to use the system. Typically, for operating systems geared towards less skilled users, you will find a lower security hardening index. That's not true for every case. For the majority, that has been my experience. So, enough of Lynis for the moment. Pretty decent looking desktop. We can take a look at their backgrounds that are included, and then we'll go ahead and wrap this up for today. Definitely some impressive backgrounds here that kind of make the commercial operating systems look bad. On that note, I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you for watching. If you have not done so already, please consider subscribing, click the like button, and click the bell icon for notifications of new videos. If you have suggestions for videos Or if there's something in particular you would like to see about Zorin OS in a future video, please head to the comment section and let me know what you would like to see. On that note, thank you all for watching. Have a great day.